My name is Simon Craven. I'm the managing attorney for immigration here at Manifest Law. I'm going to tell you today everything you need to know about applying for asylum in the United States. Asylum offers protection to people who are afraid to return to their home countries due to their race, religion, nationality, political opinion, or membership in a particular social group. So how do you apply for asylum? First, it's important to remember that asylum is only available to people who are already inside the United States. Other people may be applying for protection as refugees, but they are processed before they arrive. Asylum is for people who are already here, maybe they came in on another visa, and are now afraid to return home because they fear persecution. So how do you apply for asylum? Well, if you're here in the US, you normally file a form with USCIS. The form is called the I-589 application for asylum, and it includes all of the information about you, your background, and your reasons for needing protection here in the US. Normally, you'll file your case and get a receipt notice, and you should get a decision by rule within 180 days. However, right now, the immigration system in the US is full of too many cases, and there's a very long backlog. After you file your application for asylum, you'll be scheduled for fingerprinting, where they gather some biometric information to process your case. Eventually, when they're ready, they'll call you in for an interview where you can discuss your case with an immigration officer. Once the officer has interviewed you, they'll take your case under consideration and send you a decision. If your case is approved, you can go on and work and stay in the US permanently in asylum status. While waiting for a decision on your case, you can also apply for a work permit to allow you to work in the US until you get a decision. After you've had asylum for at least 1 year, you can then move on to applying for a green card and eventually even US citizenship. There are a few things that you need to keep in mind when you apply for asylum. First is that you must submit your application within 1 year of arriving to the US. Second, you may not be eligible for asylum if there's another country where you could live in and be safe. Many different kinds of situations could qualify for asylum. For example, you could be a member of a particular ethnic group in Africa that was oppressed by the government, and maybe you were arrested or harmed by that government. Or maybe you have a political opinion that is against the government in your home country, and perhaps you've been arrested or threatened or harmed due to that political opinion. These are all classic cases of asylum, but as long as you qualify on one of the 5 protected grounds, file within 1 year, you may be eligible depending on the facts in your case. So for example, I once worked on a case for an individual who was part of an opposing political group in his home country in Africa. He had been bothered by the police, they showed up at his house, and they even arrested him and beat him due to his political beliefs. He came to the US on a visitor visa and then applied for asylum to seek protection. We were able to get his case filed, and he got eventually a green card to live and stay in the US. There may be some situations that don't qualify for asylum. Remember, it needs to be on one of the 5 protected grounds. So for example, just being in a state of poverty is usually not enough for asylum. So some people may be facing very difficult conditions in their home countries, but not be targeted specifically on one of the 5 grounds. In these cases, unfortunately, it might not be enough to get an asylum case approved. Another situation that might not be enough to qualify for asylum is if you are just being attacked by another individual, but the government is not involved. So, for example, some victims of domestic violence may want to apply for asylum, and though they may have a case, there might be other visa options that are more appropriate. Overall, the process to apply for asylum takes a long time. The system is very backlogged, and it could be years before you get a decision on your case and have any peace of mind. However, while you're waiting, you can stay and eventually work in the US until you get your decision. For those who are eligible, asylum can be a great option to find safety and a place to live and work where you can be free for yourself and for your family. Reach out to Manifest Law today and we can help you with your asylum case. If you think you might be eligible for asylum, schedule your free consultation with Manifest Law today and we'll get started on your case.